Welcome to C++ video lectures. In this lecture we are going to study about control statements. But before starting, I would suggest you to turn on to full screen mode by clicking on full screen button situated at bottom right corner of this YouTube video. There are 5 types of control statement, and the first one is if else statement, second one is switch statement, and third one is for loop, fourth one is while loop, and the fifth one is do while loop. In this lecture we will study about if else and switch statement, and we will make programs on that, and in the next lecture we will do the looping part, that is for loop, while loop and do while loop. So coming to if else statement, what is the syntax of if else statement? The syntax for if else statement is if condition inside brackets statement 1 else statement 2. That is, if this condition is true, statement 1 would be executed, else statement 2 would be executed. So I'm going to make program in developer C++. So turn on to full screen mode to view it clearly. So I'm including the header files. Basically in this program I will compare two numbers and will print the greater number and include conio.h using namespace std main function. So I'm going to declare two integer variables, int a and b, and I will prompt the user to enter any two numbers. So there you go, enter two numbers. So the user will enter two numbers, and for that the syntax is cin, that is cin is a predefined function inside IOStream, and the syntax for cin is cin and that this operator, and we have to enter two numbers. So we'll enter a and then again operator b followed by a semicolon. The first number which we will enter would be stored in a and the second number would be stored in b. So the two numbers have been entered. After that we will use if else. If, and inside brackets the condition, if a is greater than b, that is the first number user has entered is greater than the second number, we will print cout first number is greater, curly braces close, and else part, else cout second number is greater, bracket parenthesis close, that is curly braces close, and get ch. So basically what I have done in this program, if the first number is greater than the second number, we will print first number is greater. If the first number is less than the second number, that is this condition is false, we will skip this statement and we will come to else part, and this would print second number is greater. Suppose I enter 5 and 6. So a is 5 and b is 6. 5 is greater than 6, which is false. So we will skip this statement and we will come to else part, that is cout second number is greater. Similarly, if I enter 6 and 5, a is 6, b is 5, and 6 is greater than 5, this statement is true. So this statement would be executed and we will skip the else part. So I'm compiling the program, control F9. There you go, 0 errors, and control F10 to run the program. Enter two numbers. I'm entering 10 and 15. There you go, second number is greater, 15 is greater than 10. Similarly, if I enter other way around, 15 and 10. As soon as I hit enter, first number is greater. This is printed. So I hope the use of if else statement is clear to you. Now if else is complete. Now we will study about switch statement. Switch statement is used to print the output according to the user input. For example, if the user enters 1, what should be the output? Or if the user enters 2, what should be the output? Or if the user enters 3, what should be the output? Or if user enters anything, and what should be the output? So for that, switch case is used, and the syntax for that is keyword switch inside parenthesis any variable which stores the input. Say input. This input is anything that user enters, and this goes to the switch statement. And we have cases input 1, that is in case the user enters input 1 can be anything, and after that these are the statements. Those would be executed in case the user enters input 1. Similarly, if the user enters input 2, following statements would be executed. And in the end we have default. We can have as many cases as we want, and at the end we need to define a default case, that is the user enters any other input other than what we have defined. So in that case following statements would be executed. This is just an idea, and this thing would be clear to you when we will make a program. So we are making program now in developer C++. I am removing all this header files and main function. This is same for all the programs, so I have not removed that. Okay, I am declaring one integer variable, and I am prompting the user to enter 1 or 2. Now user will enter whatever he enters. We don't know whether he enters 1, 2 or any other number, so we don't know. The input from the user is stored inside A. So we will use a switch statement, and we will write the input from the user inside the brackets. Case 1, that is in case the user enters 1. Cout, you have entered 1. That is in case the user enters 1, you have entered 1 would be printed, and after that break, so that the rest of the statements inside switch are skipped. So case 2, in case the user enters 2. Cout, you have entered 2, break. And we can have a default case, that is in case the user enters 3, 4 or any other number except 1 or 2, you can print wrong input or any other error message. So close this switch statement. So I am explaining it to you once again. This prompts the user to enter 1 or 2, and user enters what he enters we don't know, and that input is passed to the switch statement. And if the user enters 1, you have entered 1 would be printed. In case the user enters 2, you have entered 2 would be printed. And if the user enters any other thing, say 5 or 10, any other number we don't know, in that case wrong input would be printed. So I am compiling the program. Control F9. There you go, 0 errors. Control F10. Enter 1 or 2. Say I am entering 1, and as soon as I hit enter, I am hitting enter now. There you go, you have entered 1 was printed. So we can include getch so that output window does not close. So compile it. Now run it once again. Now I will enter 2. There you go, you have entered 2. Similarly, if I enter any other number, say 10. Wrong input is printed, since the transfer is the control is transferred to the default case, because the input is neither 1 nor 2. So I hope the use of switch statement is clear to you. In next lecture we will study about for loop, while loop and do while loop. So you can also download this video in high definition from my website, sites.google.com/site/PL lectures. There are thousands of other videos on this website, that is sites.google.com/site/PL lectures. So that is what we have got for today. Till next lecture, goodbye, take care.